4 minutes ago, Giant Gilgamesh just found under the Euphrates River. In an amazing turn of events, just 4 minutes ago, a huge find shook the world of archaeology and caught the attention of people all over the world. Deep beneath the glistening waters of the famous Euphrates River, a team of hardworking researchers has made an amazing discovery: the ancient Giant Gilgamesh, who was long thought to be the stuff of myths and legends. Gilgamesh has been a famous figure for thousands of years. His adventures are told in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is one of the oldest pieces of writing still in existence. Gilgamesh has always been a symbol of the struggle of humanity to overcome its limits and leave an indelible mark in the sands of time. His stories of epic quests and meetings with gods and his desire to live forever are just a few examples. Now the veil of time has been lifted and the ancient giant has emerged from the depths of the Euphrates River. His huge presence commands attention and reignites interest in the ancient societies that grew up along its banks. The finding has the potential to answer questions about Gilgamesh's life, shed light on the time period in which he lived, and help us to learn more about the rich culture of Mesopotamia. So let's dive into the history of Giant Gilgamesh, which is buried under the water. What interesting facts are waiting for us? Let's find out. This amazing find is a win not only for the team of historians, scientists, and other experts who worked on it, but also for all of humanity. It reminds us of the never-ending desire to find out more about the world and the many options that lie beneath the surface. When we look at this amazing piece of history from a long time ago, it reminds us of our shared history and how important it is to keep and study these artifacts that link us to our past. The adventures and deeds of this mythical king are told in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which was written on cuneiform tablets in the 3rd millennium BCE. Gilgamesh is shown as a hero with great physical strength and a desire to be great. He is thought to have ruled the city of Uruk in what is now Iraq. His story is a rich tapestry of old Mesopotamian beliefs and values, with threads of heroism, divine intervention, and friendship and death. The Epic of Gilgamesh is important for more than just its artistic value. It also tells us a lot about the history and culture of ancient Mesopotamia. It shows how the social, economic, and political systems worked in a society that grew and thrived along the fertile banks of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The epic also talks about the beginnings of written language, which shows how smart and creative these old societies were. Just 4 minutes ago, a group of archaeologists and scientists made an amazing find under the revered Euphrates River. They were completely shocked by what they found. As their hard work took them deeper, they found the awe-inspiring artifact of Giant Gilgamesh, a physical representation of an old tale that has captivated people for thousands of years. The fact that the Giant Gilgamesh is peacefully resting under the water shows how big and strong this mythical figure was. The huge figure, which is bigger than a person, gives off an air of power and strength. Its intricate design shows how skilled ancient Mesopotamian craftsmen were. It also shows how much they cared about their famous king and paid attention to every detail. Even though hundreds of years have passed, the Gilgamesh artifact has stayed in great shape. The statue's powerful appearance and carefully carved features on its face and body make it clear how important it is. The find also reveals a cache of relics and artifacts that were found nearby. These are important contextual clues that help us learn more about the ancient Mesopotamian culture. This amazing find shows how hardworking and knowledgeable the team was. Their tireless efforts have brought the famous Gilgamesh out of the realm of myths and into the real world. It reminds us of the amazing discoveries that are still waiting to be found under the Earth's surface. It also gives us a look into the past, which continues to change our present. The effects aren't just limited to fiction and folklore. The Giant Gilgamesh is a great example of how advanced ancient Mesopotamian societies were in art and technology. The statue's careful craftsmanship shows the skills and techniques that the artists of that time were able to master. It also shows their cultural achievements and artistic traditions. The find could also help us learn more about the Epic of Gilgamesh. By looking at the artifact's shape and the relics that came with it, experts may find new information that helps them figure out where the epic came from and how it grew. In turn, this can help us learn more about the literature, religion, and culture of ancient Mesopotamia. Also, the discovery of the Giant Gilgamesh has renewed interest in the area and led to more study. It sparks the minds and interest of scholars, archaeologists, and the general public, making them want to learn more about the mysteries of old civilizations and explore them further. It shows how important it is to keep cultural sites, artifacts, and historical texts safe and study them to learn more about our shared human history. Archaeologists, historians, and scientists have been interested in Mesopotamia, also known as the cradle of civilization, for a long time because of its rich cultural and historical past. Ancient texts like the Epic of Gilgamesh and careful analysis of archaeological sites have given important hints about the existence of the legendary figure. These academic efforts helped prepare the way for the Giant Gilgamesh to be found and explored. Before starting the trip, a lot of study and scouting is done to find possible pieces of interest along the Euphrates River. In-depth studies of ancient text, historical accounts, and geographical data help find possible places that fit the descriptions and stories about Gilgamesh's rule. During the drilling process, cutting-edge tools and technologies are used to ensure accuracy and speed. Ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR, and other forms of remote sensing are used to survey and map the area. This gives us important information about the subsurface features and possible archaeological buildings. Archaeologists use careful methods such as stratigraphy to study the layers of earth and sediment as the digging goes on. Each layer has important information about when and where the artifacts were found. For putting together the story of the past, it is important to carefully record, catalog, and keep each find. Science is used to figure out what secrets the Giant Gilgamesh artifact itself holds. X-ray imaging and 3D scanning are non-destructive methods that can be used to find out more about the statue's composition, structure, and any secret writing. This study helps find out what kind of materials were used, how the artifact was made, and what it might mean symbolically. Archaeologists, art historians, psychologists, and linguists all work together to figure out what the symbols, images, and writings on the Giant Gilgamesh and the other objects mean. Comparative studies with other known artifacts and texts help put the newly found object into context and help us understand it. The value of this find also shows how important it is to keep archaeological sites and artifacts safe and secure. It reminds us that we can find out about the past secrets through careful digging and scientific research, while also making sure that our history is kept safe for future generations. Media outlets, from news stations to online magazines, have quickly picked up on the story and are excitedly reporting on the find. Headlines boldly say that the legendary figure has been found, enticing readers and viewers with the wonder of an old secret being revealed. Journalists look into the historical, cultural, and mythological importance of Gilgamesh. They give background information and put the find into the bigger story of human history. Social media platforms have become places where people talk about and get excited about the finding. Users from all over the world share their amazement and interest, which sparks talks about ancient civilizations, mythology, and the power of tales that have stood the test of time. Hashtags about Gilgamesh and the finding trend, which got more people talking and interested. The public's reaction to this finding is a mix of shock, curiosity, and a desire to learn more. People are very interested in the idea that a person from mythology has come out of the shadows and into the real world. The idea of a hero from a long-lost society being found under the water of a legendary river stirs our collective imagination, making us wonder and want to learn more about our common past. The reaction from the public also shows a wider interest in ancient history and the mysteries of the past. The Giant Gilgamesh reminds us that our ancestors left behind a rich tapestry of stories, legends, and artifacts that are just ready to be found and explored. It makes people want to learn more about ancient cultures, their beliefs, and how they helped human society grow. The reaction of the media and the public to the finding of the Giant Gilgamesh shows how important archaeological research and preservation work is. It shows how important it is to support scientific research and the preservation of our cultural heritage, recognizing that these findings can change the way we think about the past and give us important new information about our shared history. As the news keeps getting out and people talk about it, the reactions of the media and the public are likely to spark more interest in ancient history, myths, and archaeology. This increased interest could inspire the next generation of historians, archaeologists, and explorers, making sure that learning about the past will always be important. In short, the media and the public have been fascinated, curious, and eager to learn more about our shared past since the Giant Gilgamesh was found. It shows how people are still interested in mysteries from the past and how important it is to keep and study our cultural history for future generations. When the giant Gilgamesh was found under the Euphrates River, it opened up exciting new ways to study and explore in the future. This amazing find will lead to more research into the old cultures of Mesopotamia and the mysterious figure of Gilgamesh. Scholars and archaeologists will definitely study the giant Gilgamesh and the artifacts that came with it in detail. Through careful research, they will try to find out more about how the statue was made, what materials were used, and what it means culturally and religiously. By comparing Gilgamesh to other known artifacts and books from the same time period, we can learn more about the larger world in which he lived. Also, the find might make people want to look again for other possible archaeological places along the Euphrates River. The new artifact is a warning that there may be more hidden treasures waiting to be found, which could tell us more about the past and the societies that used to live in the area. New scientific techniques and technologies will also help study in the future. Advanced imaging, isotopic analysis, and DNA studies are all non-destructive ways to learn more about the artifact and the things around it. These new ways of doing things will help us learn more about the ancient Mesopotamian skills, trade networks, and cultural exchange. The giant Gilgamesh's discovery could also lead to collaborations between archaeologists, historians, art historians, anthropologists, linguists, and other experts from different areas. With this method, experts from different fields will be able to look at the artifact and figure out what it means. This will help solve the mysteries surrounding Gilgamesh and the ancient world he lived in. As more study and exploration is done, more questions will come up. The finding of the giant Gilgamesh is a step towards learning more about this legendary figure's life and actions. It gives experts a chance to look at the stories and ideas in the Epic of Gilgamesh in a new way, which helps us learn more about the culture, religion, and society of ancient Mesopotamia. In short, the finding of the giant Gilgamesh makes it possible for archaeologists, historians, and people who study cultures to do more research and exploration in the future. It gets people interested in ancient cultures again and pushes them to use modern science to figure out the mysteries of the past. By learning more about the meaning and consequences of the artifact, we can keep learning about the ancient world and gain a better understanding of the human story that connects with us across time. The giant Gilgamesh was found buried under the Euphrates River. This is a big step forward in our knowledge of old history, culture, and mythology. It shows how hard scientists, historians, and researchers work to find out what happened in the past and how smart they are. This amazing find has gotten a lot of attention from the media and public. It has sparked a new interest in ancient societies and made people want to learn more about them. The finding is important and has repercussions that go beyond the artifact itself. It tells us about the skills, beliefs, and social structures of ancient Mesopotamia. The giant Gilgamesh will help us learn more about the Epic of Gilgamesh, ancient cultural exchanges, and the human experience throughout history as study and analysis continue. It shows how important it is to keep and study our shared cultural history and encourages further research and cross-disciplinary collaborations. The discovery of the giant Gilgamesh invites us to go on a fascinating trip where the past and the present meet and shape our understanding of humanity's rich and varied tapestry. So, here is the discovery of giant Gilgamesh, which totally shook us. If you find the video interesting, then please do watch the video, and most importantly, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon.